PB of 46.39. I'm not sure whether that's old route or new. I know he can run either one. Justifen has a PB of 43.22, which I'm pretty certain is a new route PB, but he also goes either one. In fact, in an earlier race, we did see him run old route, but I suspect now that we're in brackets, I think he's a little more likely to do new route, but we'll see that. His medium race route was time was 46.36, with J Rose was 48.30, so pretty close. So it gives Justin a bit of an edge, which of course why he's the higher seed. But anything can happen here. Oh, thanks, Elm. J Rose 46.39 according to Elminster is 40 was an old route. In the multi-category tournament. Nice. Thank you, Elm. And here we have the normal Cirrus Ridley. I'm not sure I want to call it a fight since we just damage ourselves down to get through it as quick as possible.
Yeah, it's still a fight on Ridley's side.
Yeah, there you go. And both using the Japanese text, which saves exactly 0 time.
Yep, the importance of the smaller number of characters in the text. Some of the steam and ceiling tiles getting in the way, but let's see what final times there are for series.
Like a 45 for JD and a 44 for Jero.
Yep, nice times.
Very good.
There is a planet that needs exploring now.
JD with an ever so slight lead entering the planet.
Yep, really close with the beginning of the exploration of Thebes.
Let's see if either of the runners use any moonfall action. And JD with a nice moonfall. J-Ro just sort of floating down the old-fashioned way.
And JD getting across the pits. And J-Ro does too. And wall jumps over to the morph ball. For both of them.
And picking up their first missiles.
And good mock balls out of there. A trick that we'll be seeing throughout this.
Always fun to see a good mock ball wherever it is.
Oh, yes.
Seeing it or not. And we'll see JD do the ledge grab climb, which perhaps it wasn't made famous by him, but apparently he was the first one to do it.
Nice. And J-Ro doing a wall jump climb.
Optimally not too different, if done optimally, I should say.
Seeing some nice ledge grabs on the way up parlor. And both of them will be fighting their first mini-boss right about now.
Fortunately, both entering with full energy, so the drops that they'll get should all be missiles.
Yep, exactly what you want to do in this fight. We see the runners' different ways of passing the time for bomb trees out
Yeah,
to
a little bit
start.
of IVJ, a little bit of HVJ. You know, just practice those bomb jumps. Never hurts to practice those,
Oh
even though
no.
they're not particularly used for any percent.
What better time to practice those movement techniques than getting ready for a boss fight?
Exactly.
And two very nice Alcatraz escapes.
And now we'll get an idea whether they're going to do new or old. In the next room, as JD just enters the room with the space pirates, we'll see if he shoots them. He does shoot them instead of deboosting right through them. Usually an indication of going new route. J-Ro, on the other hand, is going right through them, usually indicate going old route. The reason for this, you want to have as much energy as you possibly can going into that Fantoon fight. You're going to have one tank and no suits. So every bit of energy is important. You don't want to waste it anywhere. It's a little bit faster to go through the space pirates, but doing extra farming to get up that energy would be even worse. Even bigger time loss, so there we go. Now we'll see the most important mock ball of the game.
Yep, this mock ball probably saves more time than any other due to preventing the Spore Spawn fight from being necessary.
Yeah, nobody wants to see Spore Spawn, especially in once we've gotten to brackets. There were a few meme routes in the tournament that did that, but I don't expect to see any of that now that we're out of the group stage into the bracket stage. To answer the question in chat about the mock ball into the ice beam area, that is an important mock ball. If it was necessary to get ice beam early. In new route, typically you won't have speed boosters, so that becomes important. But in old route, you certainly don't need to do the all speed booster before you get it. So it's certainly an important one, but the Spore Spawn skip is something that's going to show up in any run that you see, except for something like Mini Boss RTA, where you have to fight Spore Spawn by definition. And even in that, you're going to get those early supers, because that makes the fight that much faster.
Those are some nice damage boosts and bounce balls through Green Hill Zone. Now JD at Red Tower, going up, as we thought.
Yeah, I like to see an old versus new, get to talk about the differences and all the strategies involved in each one.
Yep, and there goes Gyro down Red Tower. So, old versus new.
Yep. Interestingly enough, in a match that I commentated early, JD actually did old route versus Kashumo and won using old route, so shows his versatility, I suppose.
There we saw Gyro use 3 supers in the North Fair elevator top room to not have to stop at all through it. And jump clean over to the crate entrance.
Beautiful if done correctly, and it was here. Question, how old is New Route? I want to say the first time I saw it was at the 2017 SGDQ. I think they did that. They brought it out then. So I'm sure it's older than that. It was. I know Behemoth was the main pioneer of it. So I'd say year old, 2 years old, somewhere in that range. Oh, and always Elm always to the rescue. 4.5 years old. There you go.
Yep. Meanwhile, we had a very nicely executed crate quick kill by Jero.
And JD, probably the hardest part of this is getting that CWJ. Oh, I thought he had it there. It looked like he had the jump, and maybe he just wasn't quite sure of it. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, this is a precise thing.
There he got it.
There he goes. I believe that's 1 frame followed by 2.
Yeah, that's my understanding. Single frame perfect to double frame perfect. J-Rose skipping the E-Tank at Crate. That's a sign that we are in brackets, because wanting to save that 10 to 15 seconds.
No mouth ball, unfortunately. But now J-Ro's exploration of Norfair can begin. Interesting use of a power bomb there to get some health.
Yep, this is one of the scariest parts of New Route, this Fantoon fight. Yep. Like I said, 1 E-Tank, no suits.
There is very little room for error here.
I love this discussion going on in chat, is what we should call these. Very old and old route, New York versus old York. I like this. Yeah, and actually, Slaughter's, you make a good point. Sometimes we do refer to it by boss order. So JD, we expect we'll be doing PRKD. We'll see if he chooses to go to Kraid before Kraid before Ridley. Some runners will do that. J-Ro, on the other hand, going KPDR. Harlem route. There we go. Good versus bad. Wow, I love this. This is great. Fast versus slow. Although, if you're at a level of, say, me, it's route you can finish versus route you can't finish. So, yeah, scary versus easy. I like that.
JD has defeated Fantoon.
Very nicely done.
One of the most treacherous parts of New Route.
Nice work with those Dopplers. Unfortunately, that being the strat you have pretty much stuck with. J-Ro, on the other hand, will have the choice to use X Factors and still have Wave Beam. And JD picking up his second and most likely his final super pack.
Yep, right at around the same time, J-Ro gets Speed Booster. And we'll be heading down to Wave. And a 1-tile ceiling clip from JD. Did not have to shoot out all the individual blocks, thanks to not having Wave Beam.
It's a nice little time save.
And a nice addict from JD.
And a nice little muck ball there to get down the sky area. He's going to need plenty of energy here. One nice thing about New Route is he doesn't, without those high jump boots, he can go a little further horizontally. He should only take 2 spike hits here, dealing 60 damage each, and he does that very nicely. It's a little bit harder to get down to only 2 when you have those high jump boots on.
Yep, it's a similar reason that jumping across the ocean is a lot easier without high jump on too.
Exactly. And now JD gets to take a little break.
Yep, it's the Chozo statue's turn to bowl. But now the Chozo statue is finished.
JD gets his gravity suit. And so the next question is JD going to do the traditional new route and go straight down to Ridley, or is he going to go to Parade first? We've seen a lot of runners do Parade before Ridley as a bit of a safety. Certainly is safer. It's a little bit slower. The issues there being one, you don't have speed boost. You're going into Parade, and if you do Ridley first, you will. But the other issue being ammo management. The nice thing about doing Parade after Ridley is you get that free super fill up from Mini Parade. Pretty much always drops you about 4 or 5 supers when you kill him coming out. Whereas if you do Parade before Ridley, you have to find a way to farm up those supers.
And a little bit earlier, we saw J-Ro with the wall jump shot and down grab at the top of Red Tower. Very nice.
And JD is going to pick up his phaser beam. Another difference with new route is you pick up this phaser beam because you're not going to get plasma. Plasma isn't going to do you much good for Ridley because you're not going to have it for Ridley. But would save a little bit of time for Mother Brain because it'd be 20 shots versus 60. But the amount of time you'd save there is not as much as the amount of time you'd waste going to pick it up in the first place.
Yep, it's a much larger detour on new route than it is on old.
Exactly.
And here we have J-Ro invading the wreck ship while JD begins Norfair.
Interesting you didn't open the door there. Now, that's actually another difference in new route. He'll probably come out of this room with the high jump boots and he will lay a power bomb to get the Nova there to be able to open the door coming out. He's already selected power bomb, so I expect to see that. There he goes.
Nice.
Goes out the opposite way.
Now J-Ro's in the Fantoon fight, and since J-Ro has wave, we see some X factors.
Yeah. And there JD is doing exactly what I talked about earlier. In new route, you do use that ice beam mock ball. I mean, I guess you don't have to, but that would be quite the time wasted to come back after you get speed booster. And as much as ice beam is the lowest added amount of damage, you still want to have it for that Ridley fight. And
Yep,
J-Ro finishing up Fantoon.
It's a 12-shot difference. Well, that is if the entire fight were done with that, so scale it down to what's done with ammo.
Right, he will use some supers on it.
That's still a good number of shots, though.
Yeah. Nice use of pseudo screw by JD. Having no trouble with King Cack there. Meanwhile, J-Ro with a nice attic. And this is kind of interesting because I've always been told that one way to gauge who's ahead when you have two different routes is the old route runner getting gravity. When the old route runner gets gravity versus when the new route runner gets the lower Norfair elevator, and it looks like they're going to get there pretty close to the same time.
Looks like J-Ro's charging up for Bowling Spark.
Doesn't quite get it. And as you can see, he took 3 spike hits going there, but he's got various suits, so those spikes will only do 30 damage instead of 60. J-Ro gets to take his little coffee break. JD picking up his wave beam as J-Ro picking up his gravity suit.
Yep, this is JD's fast beam. And we see the lower route to the lower Norfair entrance.
Yeah, you don't see this in very many runs other than New Route. It's almost like a second Forgotten Highway.
The not as forgotten.
They're not as forgotten, yeah. The game actually expects you to go that way to get up to the other side of Bubble Mountain in the beginning to pick up your speed booster. I guess theoretically your wave beam too, but the game does not expect you to pick up your wave beam at that point. JD doing a very nice gravity jump to get up through. And that's one of the places where doing Ridley doing Ridley before Kraid is a little more dangerous because you're going to take more damage in that lava doing the gravity jump when you have to take your full suit off instead of just taking the gravity suit off and having Varia.
JD charging up for fast pillars. Nice.
And gets it. And getting a first from the game very nicely. Doing that nice little morph ball over the last space pirate, one of my favorite strategies.
It really is a nice strategy.
It just looks so pretty.
And the way you cleanly float over that last space pirate. Have the spark
Oh, he
to
gets that.
destroy those key hunters. Yes, we do.
That's also a neat little strat.
Now it's time for more X Factors on J-Ro's side. Right on target.
Should be set up for a nice 1 round. And he gets it. Fortunately, he was a little bit low on health. Fortunately, not low enough to get to health bomb range. You don't really need a lot of health there, so you're about to pick up another E-tank. Fortunately for J-Ro, he's got more than enough ammo for getting into the Dragon fight.
Good Metal Pirate Sparks from JD.
Oh, and J-Ro booping the spark, not going to get the halfie or the full halfie.
Well, after that first jump went the way it did, it makes sense to spark up there. The 45-degree partial halfie.
Ooh, 2 X Factors landed by JD. Very nice. Those X Factors will deal, each particle deals, I believe, 300 damage. So that means he hit 8 of them for 2,400 damage, with a total of 18,000 for Ridley. That's a good start.
Yep, that is a nice start for Ridley, equivalent to 3 supers.
You'll see he used up his supers, and now he'll do the rest with Charge, Ice Wave, Phaser.
And J-Ro getting ready for Spark plus X Factor opener on Dragon.
Yeah, let's hope we did. We've seen a couple of.
Oh no!
Oh,
that's
no.
a lot of chain damage.
Oh no, that is the third one of these we've seen in brackets so far. I was just about to say, hopefully we didn't get that, and damn.
Yeah, that's pretty much the one problem with sparking Dragon.
And with
sometimes that can happen.
With that, J-Ro is forfeited. That's truly unfortunate.
Yeah, it feels really bad to see that.
Yeah, he really was on a decent pace, too. Well, at this point, JD does still have to finish. And JD did manage to get through Ridley, so the next hard part was done. We'll go to Kraid now.
Kraid will... Oh, it's always interesting to see Kraid's lair with the items of New Route.
Yeah.
And a nice speed echo jump through the second last room of Lower North Fair.
This is actually one of the tougher rooms, getting through those 3 musketeers. And he does it with only hits one of them. Very nicely done.
Actually, it looked like the iframes from that one were enough to get through the remaining one.
Yeah, I think you're right. I kind of think of those as the last little middle finger of the game to say, you're not quite done with this yet.
Yep, they can and do kill runs.
So the interesting question is, now that JD knows that he just needs to finish, is he going to take any extra safeties to get through this? Of course, also having high jump boots makes that entry a little bit easier. The game expects you to have high jump boots since they're right there and expects you to go down and get them before you figure out that you can go into Kraid's lair that way.
Oh, let's see that second Kraid quick kill.
And he gets it. And picks up his Varia suit. And if you're wondering, he still does need that Varia suit to survive. The one place Varia makes a huge difference is in the Rainbow Beam by Mother Brain, which deals 3 tanks of damage if you have Varia suit. And if you just have Gravity suit, it's going to do 6 tanks of damage. And getting an extra 3 energy tanks would be would take a lot longer than just picking up the Varia suit.
Exactly.
We'll see if JD will pick up that extra E-tank here.
I didn't think so.
No surprise. That probably answers my question about taking any extra safeties, because that would be an extra safety he could take. I just noticed, looks like he did take the Ridley E-tank though. Which means if his energy's good enough, he might choose to skip the Botwood E-tank, but I suspect he'll end up taking it because you'll want that extra energy for those Dragon's Giant Sparks, especially after seeing what happened to J-Ro.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and absolutely. The Botwood tank is definitely faster than the Kraid tank. He'll also set this up with an X Factor.
Right on target again. And another single round.
Yeah, and doing that with a lot of those being missiles instead of super is very impressive.
Yeah. Such great Buttoon fights we've seen tonight.
And does pick up the E-tank. No surprise. Looks like he wants to. Oh no! Looks like he wants to farm up a few missiles. He has the super missile he needs to get in. Unfortunately, he'll have to use regular missiles for the Idor unless he picks up another one on the way.
All right, all happy.
Very nice.
Oh, that downward super though.
Oh, that's not a place to Kojak a missile.
Especially when you only have one.
Exactly. This is... Well, fortunately, all he has to do is finish. And unfortunately, as much as... No, that's an energy refill anyway. If it was a missile refill, it wouldn't help him since it doesn't refill supers.
Well, hopefully one of these Metroids will drop a super soon.
Although you almost wonder if it might be better off just going ahead and taking the energy refill so they're more likely to drop ammo. There, he's got the super now.
Well, it wouldn't make them more likely to drop supers.
Yeah, I guess more likely to drop a regular missile. Fortunately, he still has enough missiles to take out the turrets in Dragon's room.
Looks like another X Factor plus Spark setup. That landed nicely,
So far, so good.
Dragon's looking very red now.
Should take one more. And he's just gonna bomb jump right out. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I'm just gonna wall jump out. In New Route, you don't typically take Space Jump. Space Jump is most useful in Lower Norfair. He's already done Lower Norfair. Would have been made it a little bit easier to get through Coliseum since he didn't get a blue suit. But probably not worth the time it takes to pick it up. Especially if you're good at wall jumping. The wall jumps out of the Coliseum are much better. You don't have that one stupid jump at the end with the thing jutting out.
And a moonfall down Halfy Climb Room. Because of this route to exit Meridia, it was actually very important that JD made sure that the wall on the right of Batoon's room fully broke before exiting the room.
Yeah. Fun fact, if you exit that room too quickly, you can come back and Batoon's right back there and not dead, and the wall's up again. Granted, you can get around it by going through the sand pits, but that's a time loss.
I always like that jump in the mountain room.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. So ammo, might want a few more supers. I don't think he's gonna stop at the ship. We'll see. It's a little lower than you'd really like. But certainly the Metroid drops. The Metroid drop should make up for that. I say should. We've seen plenty of times in this tournament where we've had bad Metroid drops. So we'll see what happens. See what he chooses to do.
Nope, no ship.
No ship.
We're going for the super missiles from the Metroids. I like that usage of speed to deal with the last enemies in the way there.
Oh, yeah. So he is going to have to be careful with his ammo management down here. Meantime, he gets to take a little bit of a break, practicing his horizontal bomb jumping. Shout out to Black Elite John, who has now dubbed this the horizontal bomb jump practice room, since so many people like to practice that here.
And there was high bomb spreads too.
Love the bomb spreads.
And although I didn't see JD do this, there's also trying to lay bombs right on top of the statue's eyes.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Turning his full beam combo back on.
And Metroid Room 1. Very smooth.
So he's got fewer supers now than he came in with. That could be a problem.
Oh, that was a lot of supers.
That's much better. Very smartly using his regular missiles in the second room. Picking up 4 supers there.
And there's full
And now he's
supers.
good. Yeah, again, using his regular missiles on the Metroids. It takes 5 regular missiles as opposed to 1 super missile.
Ooh, we got the delayed Rinka hit for the damage boost.
Nice.
Or not quite.
Not quite. And he's got his full missiles, full supers. We'll see if he can get the baby skip here.
Full ammo, almost full health here in Metroid Room 5.
And a very nice baby skip.
Yep. Close at the end, but nice skip.
Yeah, he was pretty close to that Metroid grabbing him and getting the slow action. But fortunately, he did not.
Ooh, is this a moonfall down
and there
to
it is.
the save room?
Yeah, taking the safety save. I don't blame him for this. Want to make sure he finishes the run. Although I suppose if he didn't, then J-Ro could dot unforfeit and they could both start from the beginning. Nice zub skip.
Yep, solid zub skip.
And now it's just going to be 60 shots here with his Charge Ice Wave Phaser combo. It's one of the things that makes New Route a little more dangerous. 60 shots instead of 20.
Yep, a lot more attacks to dodge. JD keeps those shots going. Avoiding all those onion rings, french fries, and burger patties.
We'll know he's 3/4 of the way through, or 45 shots down when he gets this ketchup bean. And there it is. If he happens, as long as he doesn't get double ketchup, he should be fine here. Damaging himself down to 399.
And there is that rainbow beam. Another chance for JD to sit back and watch.
And since he damaged himself below 100, we won't have any extra shots of him getting damaged down to below 100. I'm going to use this time to remind everybody to follow those runners. Both very good runners. Putting on a good show for us tonight.
Definitely follow both runners. And Mother Brain 3 begins. Mother Brain snuck in some onion rings, unfortunately.
Nothing that JD couldn't handle, though.
Yep, and some more bomb spreads during the death cutscene.
And now it's just the escape.
I wonder what strategy we'll see in the climb room. Those high frames from the Space Pirate projectile hit during the Shine Spark crash, allowing wall jumping up through the left wall Space Pirate above the door. What do we see in Climb Room? Climb Spark.
Just the normal right side spark. Gets you up there just fine. And always the question, will you save or kill the animals? And the answer is, you will let them die.
Oh, Speed Echoes to not have to deal with Steam, and JD will finish this race in first place with an official SRL time of 47 minutes and 1 second. GG.
GG to Just Defend.
And again, do make sure that you follow the runners. This was a great race that they did for us.
Okay, in the meantime, while this is going on, let's see what's coming up in this tournament. So we still have a couple of pre-round of 32 races to go. Those won't be for a couple more days. I'll go in the order that these are happening. So the next race that is currently scheduled is on August 30th. That's Thursday, all times Eastern. At 5 o'clock, we have Sloters 27 versus Scotty McBody. At 6 o'clock Eastern, we have Farrell versus Lynx Unlimited. And at 10 p.m., we have Kip versus Richmond. On August 31st at midnight, so I guess right after the 10 p.m., we have Toaster versus Catchmon in the pre-round of 32. On September 1st, on Saturday, we have 2 matches at 3 o'clock. A pre-round of 32 versus 90 versus 93 versus Galen 83, and a round of 32 between Galmaz and Timon. And I do believe we have JD with us. How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
I'm feeling a lot less nervous now that the run is over.
Yeah, it was a good run. I assume you know what happened to Jero.
Yeah, so that's real unfortunate because I believe I was fighting Ridley at the same time.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So I feel like we were actually kind of tied at that point, just going by boss fights alone. So yeah, it's real unfortunate to see him go that way, but I actually really didn't have any intentions of like being safe at all, picking up a 4th E-tank or even saving. So seeing him die there was a bit of a relief and allowed me to play a lot safer.
So if he had still been going, you would have skipped that. Would you skip the Ridley E-tank?
Yeah, I definitely would have. I have a lot of respect for Jero. I mean, he and I go way back, so I knew it was going to be a pretty close race, so I had no margin for error, especially with how much bad luck I got with the supers going into Meridia. So,
yeah, and the supers going into Turian as well.
Yeah, so what can you do? It's a shame for Jero, but tournament only gets harder from here, so yeah, I expect some good matches to come.
Yeah, it's actually the third Dragon chain damage death I've seen since the brackets began. So
Yeah,
message to everybody.
Yeah,
Crazy.
seeing a lot of it. Yeah, it's hard to say what's right or what's wrong with the Dragon fight, but yeah, it's real unfortunate. But I'm gonna call it a night here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. I gotta ask you a quick question before you go,
Sure.
if you don't mind. Ledge grab climb. Were you really the first to do it?
I was the first to make a comparison video. That's really my claim to fame with it. A lot of people were doing wall jumps, and I saw how the TAS did it, and I wanted to try it out myself. So I don't do it as optimally as a lot of these really good players do it, but I do it consistently. So that's the ledge climb for me.
Well, in that case, I'm glad that you're getting recognition for it. Behemoth has his spark, so
yeah. Plenty of really good strats out there that sort of gotten lost. Who came up with it first, who did this, but as a community, I'm just happy to contribute to it. So look forward to more Super Metroid coming on later this week. So thank you.
And playing Balthazar, winner of Balthazar versus E-Music. So look forward to watching that.
Yep.
And good luck going forward.
Thank you.
Okay. So I guess that's going to be all for us. You got anything to add, Stump?
No. Thanks everyone for watching. It was a fun race to commentate.
Yeah. Thank you, Errol, for watching. Thank you to chat. Thank you to Speed Gaming for restreaming this. Always good to be on here. Thank you to the organizers. Thank you to the runners. Always putting on a good show for us, doing their best. And thank you to Stump for letting me join you on commentary.
And thanks for commentating with me.
Yep. And as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you may be.